And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza. And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide. I also broadcast on Roar 1776 Radio and Live 365 Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows. You can also access my show live right from my website each day simply by clicking on that icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com, and you can call into my show if you want to comment or just engage me in conversation about anything. Call directly into the studio at area code 909-545-6516. Again, that number, 909-545-6516. Now, in today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. Today, my expert contributor is John Matthews in his Conservative Syndicate Corner, and my special guest, Sean Lefebvre. He's talking healthcare in his series, Geared for Wellness. I want you to know that at 4:02 p.m. Pacific Time, it is currently 91 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, that's down from 97 degrees on its way to 66 degrees. I don't think any of us can hardly wait for that. I know I'm anxious for the lower temperatures to take place. But right now, you know what? Let's talk about the news. That's the most interesting thing on our agenda, and I got lots of it for you. You know, this came in 2 minutes ago, days before the referendum. Greek voters perplexed and undecided. Kostas Christofords hasn't decided how to vote in Sunday's referendum on a ballot deal for Greece's troubled economy. The problem is the 37-year-old farmer isn't sure what he's voting for. If it's saying no to austerity, then it's a no from me too. But if we are rejecting Europe, I disagree with that, he said, a position that many of Greece's perplexed public finds themselves in ahead of one of the most important votes in their country's modern history. As Greek banks and markets remained closed today for a fourth day, rival campaigns scrambled to roll out their message and a prediction from the International Monetary Fund that Greece will need piles of additional cash from Eurozone countries and others over the next 3 years put even more pressure on the government. Our efforts are focused on overcoming the crisis as fast as possible with a solution that preserves the dignity and sovereignty of our people, Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras said. The popular 40-year-old Prime Minister is gambling his government on a call to voters to reject austerity measures demanded by bailout lenders despite coming close to a deal last week. You know what? I got to tell you, I just think it's not a good idea to start playing games with the international money forums, and it's not a good idea to start playing games with your lenders. Never going to be a good idea. Well, how about this? In 1 hour ago, actually, you know what? I think I already did that. Let's go to here. There we go. The case for Greece when it forgave Germany's debt. Here's the thing. Forgiving debt, if done right, can get an economy back on its feet. The International Monetary Fund certainly thinks so, according to a new report in which it argues that Greece should get help. But Germany, another major creditor to Greece, is resisting even enough, though it knows better than most what debt relief can achieve. After the hell of World War II, the Federal Republic of Germany, commonly known as West Germany, got massive help from its debt from former foes. Among its creditors then, Greece. The 1953 agreement, in which Greece and about 20 other countries effectively wrote off a large chunk of Germany's loans and restructured the rest, is a landmark case that shows how effective debt relief can be. It helped spark what became known as the German economic miracle. So, it's perhaps ironic that Germany is now among the countries resisting Greece's requests for debt relief after they gave it to them. Greek Finance Minister Yanis Varoufakis claims debt relief is the key issue that held up a deal with creditors last week and says he'd rather cut off his arm than sign anything that doesn't tackle the country's borrowings. Well, maybe he should. It just seems to me that they're going in the wrong direction. Don't they have something in common? That Eurozone is there to make those 19 Eurozone countries stronger and more stable. And the only way that can happen is if they stick up for and help each other. That's the secret. We'll see what happens on Sunday when they have that referendum. Hopefully, that'll be the end of this, at least for the next few years. Well, and today, Obama's counterterrorism policy is facing mounting criticism. At the CIA's Counterterrorism Center, it was a cause for celebration. Meticulous intelligence analysis backed by Hellfire missiles had paid off once again. The CIA launched a drone strike last month on a Yemeni beach at 3 men it determined were al-Qaeda militants. One of them turned out to be Nasser al-Washashi, about as important a figure as agency manhunters could hope to eliminate. He had been both al-Qaeda's second-in-command and the leader of the group's dangerous Yemeni affiliate. American officials touted the death as a big victory, but did the demise of another senior extremist, the latest in a long line to be taken off the battlefield, make the United States and its allies any safer? Well, to many experts, including a growing number of former Obama administration national security advisors, the proposition is less convincing by the day. With al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group enjoying safe havens across parts of Yemen, Syria, and Iraq, and with terror attacks on the rise worldwide, doubts are growing about the effectiveness and sustainability of the administration's light footprint strategy against global extremist movements. A template predicted on training local forces and bombing terrorists from the air is actually making the situation worse, some say. Many are arguing for deeper U.S. involvement, if not with regular ground troops, then at least with elite advisors and commandos taking more risks in more places. Just seems like it just sort of makes sense, doesn't it? It does to me. Either, you know what, if we're going to go to war, let's go there to win it, not just prolong it. This is ridiculous. Well, Egypt's warplanes strike back at militants in troubled Sinai. Egyptian warplanes launched new airstrikes and troops went house to house Thursday in a troubled Sinai Peninsula, a day after Islamic State-linked militants set off the area's bloodiest fighting in decades in an unprecedented coordinated attack. The combat, described as war by the media and officials, heightened tensions across Egypt as it marks Friday's second anniversary of the military's overthrow of Islamic President Mohammed Morsi, a move that fanned an insurgency in North Sinai that has grown stronger. It also follows the dramatic assassination this week of the country's chief prosecutor in a car bombing in Cairo, prompting general-turned politician President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to press for even harsher anti-terrorism laws targeting Islamic militants. A special forces raid Wednesday on a Cairo apartment killed 9 members of Morsi's outlawed Muslim Brotherhood, which responded by calling for a rebellion. Now, don't go away. We've got more news right up off the top. It's Catholic leaders press the GOP to heed the Pope on climate and the poor. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Do not go away. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And when we left, we were talking about the news. This just in today. You don't want to miss this. Catholic leaders press the GOP to heed the Pope on climate and poor. Roman Catholic leaders in the early voting state of Iowa implored candidates for president today to take up Pope Francis's call for profound political courage by focusing their campaigns as much on improving the environment and income inequality as they have on opposing gay marriage and abortion in past elections. The vocal pivot from such traditional social issues marks the first time U.S. Catholic bishops have publicly asked those seeking the White House to heed the admonitions of Francis. His June encyclical, said Bishop Richard Pates of Des Moines. In Francis's major teaching document, the leader of the world's 1.2 billion Catholics called for a sweeping revolution to correct a structurally perverse economic system that allows the rich to exploit the poor and has turned the earth into an immense pile of filth. These are going to be difficult decisions that have to be made, said the Reverend Bud Grant of Davenport. Joined at a news conference by bishops from central and eastern Iowa, politicians have to have the courage to do the right thing and not necessarily the politically expedient thing. The push from bishops threatens to disrupt the historically reliable alliance of evangelical Christians and conservative Roman Catholic voters, putting pressure on Republicans who have leaned on their religious faith to guide them on social issues. It'll also focus attention on how the 6 Roman Catholics seeking the 2016 Republican presidential nomination will wrestle with the Pope's teaching on economics and climate change that clash with traditional Republican ideology. Time will tell. We'll see what actually happens here, right? Well, here we go. Also, in just 1 hour ago, summer is sizzling, heat records fall across the United States West. From Seattle to Salt Lake City, the West is baking under record heat. Temperatures reaching triple digits have made fire conditions extreme and sent folks looking for relief heading into the 4th of July weekend. Unfortunately, the forecast in many areas calls for more sun and sweat. You got it. You know what? In Washington, Seattle, not accustomed to prolonged hot weather, saw its hottest June ever. The average high temperature each day in June was a record 78.9 degrees, breaking the 1992 record by more than 3 degrees, said Johnny Berg, a meteorologist at the National Weather Service in Seattle. No, isn't that something? Let's move out of Washington. Let's go to Nevada for a second. June in Las Vegas is officially the hottest ever. The National Weather Service said the average June temperatures recorded at McCarran International Airport was 91.9 degrees, breaking the previous record of 91.5 degrees in 2013. More than half of last month was at or above 105 degrees, a meteorologist said. June 13th through June 30th brought 18 consecutive days of temperatures in that range. And in Utah, Salt Lake City also saw the hottest June on record following the warmest winter ever. The National Weather Service said the average temperature last month was 77.5 degrees, breaking the previous record of 75.7 set in June of 1988. The average monthly low of 64.5 degrees also beat the 63.3 degrees in 1918. And then, you know what, let me just end it with Arizona. Phoenix is known for its stifling summer heat, but June 2015 stood out. It was the third hottest month the city has endured since the National Weather Service began keeping records back in 1895. The warmest June in Phoenix was in 2013, where temperatures averaged 94.8 degrees. The average temperature for this June was 94 degrees. Phoenix experienced a 6-day heat stretch with temperatures of 110 and above. The National Weather Service said the longest stretch of temperatures reaching 110 degrees and above in Phoenix's history was in June 1974 that lasted 18 days. Boy, think things are hot? You got it, boy. It really, really is. Tough times. Well, let's talk about Puerto Rico governor. Creditors should help solve the crisis. Puerto Rico's governor said today that creditors are responsible for helping the United States island out of its economic crisis because they lent money knowing the government was running a deficit. Governor Alejandro Garcia Padilla also sought to clarify comments recently published in the New York Times, saying he believes Puerto Rico's $72 billion public debt is unpayable. What we're saying is, and I ask that you pay attention to the full sentence, that with the current level of economic growth, the debt is not payable, he told reporters, alluding to the island's nearly 9-year-old recession. They were Garcia's first public comments since a televised address last Monday, in which he announced that he would seek to postpone debt payments. Garcia said he wants to talk with creditors about how to boost the economy with the money that they are owed to help generate enough revenue to make payments under the new terms. Just keeps right on going, right? Yeah, it sure does. You know what? And then, when we come back, we're going to talk about the IRS loses. And the first case up is, it's not. The first case up is one where they conceded. They only concede when they know they can't win in court. But we're going to talk about a charity that can receive an IRA from an estate. And I'm going to tell you all about that right after these brief messages. So please, don't go away. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. And you know what, I got to tell you, I keep talking about the IRS losing, and we go after these things. I tell you, it has become a very, very popular segment of the show. But you know what? Let's not talk about it. Let's just do it. The first case, the IRS conceded, and you've heard me say it all the time, they only concede when they know they can't win in court. In this case, a charity can receive an IRA from an estate. You know, an individual died owning an IRA that had his estate as the beneficiary. His will was also named a charity as a residual beneficiary of that estate. The estate's executor then sought to transfer the IRA to the charity to satisfy its claim as a beneficiary. The IRS ruling: the transfer to meet the terms of the will is permitted with no income tax due to the estate, even though ownership transfers of IRAs generally are not permitted. And here's a planning point for you. The transfer of the IRA to the charity saves an income tax bill. Had the IRA been paid to the estate and the charity received other assets, the full IRA payout would be subject to income tax. So this was really a smart move. How about this? The IRS loses. A rejected settlement received inadequate review. A retired couple who owed back taxes made an offer in compromise that the IRS rejected. Then they made another offer in compromise. The IRS rejected it too. So they went to tax court, and this was the decision of the court. The IRS settlement officer rejected the second offer in compromise without considering supporting documents showing that the husband was fully disabled, the wife suffered from a heart disease and diabetes, they had an adult dependent child, and they had very limited income. Instead, he simply accepted a revenue officer's unsupported note in their file saying that they could pay the tax bill. This is inadequate review, and it entitles the couple to a rehearing. By the way, that rehearing has already taken place, and the couple survived in this whole thing. How about this? The IRS loses. Taxpayer may be anonymous in tax court. You'll find this interesting. An individual who filed a case in tax court sought permission to remain anonymous and asked for all court records to be sealed. Why? He had close relatives in a foreign country where kidnapping is common, and one had already been kidnapped and held for ransom. He feared that if his finances were published by the court, his family would face greater risk of kidnapping. The IRS objected, of course, that a prior case brought by the individual in another court had not been sealed, so sealing the records here was futile. But this is what the judge said. No court rule permits anonymous proceedings, but the court will use its discretion to do so here due to the good reason and will seal the records as well. That's just common sense, don't you think? That's how I feel about it. Let me give you one more. The IRS loses. Informal claims save a chance for a refund. An estate at first overpaid its estimated tax bill, then filed a return claiming a large refund. But the IRS summarily rejected the refund because the estate's return was filed more than 3 years after its due date. Here's the estate's objection. It had informally contacted the IRS several times saying that it expected a large refund but had to delay filing because of 4 more deaths in the family, and an IRS agent had responded by sending a card saying she would wait for the return until a date after it was actually filed. They went to court. This is what the judge said. A jury could find that the contracts or contacts were informal refund claims and that extended the refund deadline. So the estate is entitled to a jury trial. That's what you want. That's exactly what you want, and that's the way it should be. Absolutely. You ever want to be a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stuff? Well, that's what we call this section right now that we're going to do. That's Inside the IRS. This is so that you kind of get an idea of what's going on when you're dealing with the IRS. This isn't a court case, but it is precedent that was set by the IRS and questions that you're going to naturally have. And isn't it nice to know how the IRS has handled this in the past? Well, that's where we're at right now. Watch your back when the IRS tells you that it has a good deal for you. The good deal comes in the form of a letter that advises you to accept the terms of a global settlement that the IRS is offering to taxpayers who are involved in common issues. Here's an example. Thousands of taxpayers were found to have maintained offshore bank accounts. They reported neither the money deposited into the accounts nor the interest earned on them. The IRS offered many of those taxpayers a last chance to avoid huge penalties if they disclosed their wrongdoing. The strategy? If the IRS tries to entice you into a global settlement, speak to a knowledgeable tax attorney who understands the IRS's limitations before deciding whether to accept. It is important to find out exactly what facts and evidence are in the possession of the IRS to determine whether it can prove its case against you. Just think about it. That is really, really important. How about this? An IRS audit trap. Suppose that in the course of an audit, an agent asks you a question and you don't understand why that is being asked. What do? Ask the agent why he or she wants to know. Don't answer any such question until you receive an understandable and acceptable answer from the agent. Let me give you an example. The agent asks where you went on vacation last year. Why would he want to know such a thing? he is probably trying to ascertain your standard of living and how the amount of income that you reported on your tax return jibes with your confessed lifestyle. Be careful about offering an answer that may be incriminating. Consult your tax lawyer first before you do any of that kind of stuff. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, we're going to be talking to our own Sean LaFave. He's going to be talking healthcare in his Geared for Wellness Corner. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Sean LaFave.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:33 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 92 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, that's down from 97 degrees on its way to 65. But you know what? You talk about hot. You talk about a subject that's going to grab your interest and maybe make you sweat. Well, our own Sean LaFave and his Geared for Wellness Corner will tell you all about it. Let's bring him in here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from his personal meditation lounge in Orange County, California, a professional dedicated to conquering many chronic conditions from autism to weight loss and everything in between. The nationally recognized wellness coach, consultant, and lecturer, Sean LaFave, in his Geared for Wellness Corner. Hey, Sean, welcome aboard. Good to have you here. I'm excited to have you here. I know that, actually, this is a special week because we're actually going to have you on the show 3 times this week. We had you last Tuesday, we've got you today, and we're going to have you again tomorrow. So, I mean, how good could that get, right?
Hi, Robert, by the way. It's good to be back today. But, yeah, not only am I going to be on tomorrow, but we're going to really mix things up, get wild and crazy. We're going to do it at 5 o'clock instead of 4:30. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, it's going to be terrific. I'm really excited about it. And you know what else? Tomorrow we will be on 2 additional stations that we broadcast on Fridays, and so we're going to be on. Gosh. I can't even begin to tell you how many stations worldwide we're going to be on tomorrow, simulcast. Tomorrow is the biggest, Fridays are the biggest simulcast day that we have, so that's going to be great.
Well, exciting. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be super. So listen, are we talking about milk? Are we talking about wine? Are we talking about vaccinations? Are we talking about health care? Are we talking about just talk?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about talk, and maybe even talk about walk. And walking, that is.
Oh, hey,
we're going to talk about. I know last week we kind of did our focus on the medicated state of our nation, and one of the questions you asked was, how can we live a lifestyle that helps us, either avoid getting on those medications or gain freedom from those medications, and so that's kind of really what I wanted to talk about today. Was really what. And what we can do to stay away from them, to live a lifestyle. And that's the thing, I'm not, a lot of people, kind of say to me, gosh, you're so down on medications. I'm like, well, I am to a point. I don't like them as a lifestyle thing. There are some people, if you've got type 1 diabetes, for instance, and your pancreas doesn't work, it's never going to work, well, then you're stuck with insulin. Yeah, sure.
Well, Sean, let me venture a guess. You're not opposed to medications when it's indicated and necessary for an individual. You're just opposed to medications to treat symptoms and not problems.
Right, yeah, to treat symptoms and to really use them as a Band-Aid so that you can continue living a lifestyle that's going to perpetuate whatever condition it is you have, whether it's, high cholesterol. And that's actually one of the ones I want to talk about today is cholesterol meds, because I think there's a massive amount of misunderstanding in what cholesterol is. But diabetes and high blood pressure, and a lot of these things are really avoidable. But your doctor will say, well, this is your condition you've got, and you're going to need to be on these drugs. And really probably going to tell you need to be on those drugs for the rest of your life. And that's the thing that, I would rather teach someone, like, here's how you can exercise to avoid those issues. Here's how you can eat to avoid those issues. And some people just don't want to do it, and that's okay. There's always going to be the person that doesn't want to give up something in life. And it's really funny. One of the things when I'm coaching with people, one of the things that I hear probably more than anything else is they'll say, I'm never going to give up bread. It's funny. All the things that people could possibly give up, the one that I seem to get the most resistance on is bread, and there's a lot of reasons for that. One, bread just tastes really good, and you can use it for so many things. Everything from French toast to regular toast to sandwiches, and whatever else. Bread is awesome, but bread, especially white bread, it metabolizes in your body faster than table sugar does, and so it really gives us a big rush. And we are a country that is addicted to sugar in a massive sort of way.
So let me interrupt you for just a minute here, Sean, and I'm sorry because we're moving fast, and I've got a couple of questions here. When you were talking about, I got a few things I want to say. When you were talking about bread, and you're saying that you have a lot of resistance from people that you're saying that you need to get off of bread, can we talk about the differences between different breads? The white bread and the whole wheat bread, potato bread, rye bread. Are there any that are better for you than others?
Yeah, it's one of the better ones that you can eat is actually sourdough bread. It doesn't give you that insulin spike that other breads do. It tends to metabolize a little bit slower in the body. It's got those enzymes built into it. Another one that tends to be, they call it lower on the glycemic index, is bagels. Bagels are actually a better choice.
But they make bagels from all different kinds of flour, don't they? Or am I mistaken there?
Yeah. You can get whole wheat, you can get pumpernickel, you can get just plain white flour. But something, I don't know what it is, and I've never really dug into the science of why a bagel and a sourdough and whole wheat and pumpernickel and whatever rye, why they all behave differently. Obviously, some of it has to do with the bran that's in it. If it's a whole grain, and the one thing to be careful of is the way that the bread companies will word the type of bread. They'll say it's whole wheat, Well, yeah, it is whole wheat, but it's not the whole grain wheat bread. So a lot of people buy this stuff that says whole wheat, and they think they're getting the whole grain, where they're still not getting the bran and they're not getting the germ, and so.
Well, okay, so stop. I'm going to interrupt you again here because I'm just waiting for you to take a breath, and you're not going to. You can do this entire show in one breath, I think. What about like, and I hate to mention a name, but I'm going to Oro Wheat 7-grain wheat bread.
Yeah, it's mostly fluff. It's if you look at it, it's got some whole wheat. It's got all these grains. A lot of the grains are kind of put on the outside on the crust, and maybe some of them are blended in. But Oro wheat is just not one of those breads that's known to be a healthy choice.
Right.
Is it better than Wonder Bread? Probably, but I wouldn't put it on the level of, hey, this is a really good, wise choice of bread to use for your sandwiches.
Okay, so now we've got about 1 minute exactly before we had to take our break. And one of the things you said at the beginning of this segment was that you wanted to talk about walking. Would you be surprised to know that your good buddy Robert Cardoza walks 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, about 3.5 miles a day?
No, I am not surprised, just because I know I know you as a person, and that seems like, I honestly, when I was thinking about that earlier, I bet Robert is one of those guys that just goes out for a walk, and one, because you're just very methodical in the way you do a lot of things, and walking, you're an intelligent person, and people who walk, it gives them time to kind of either clear their mind or to mull over, the events of the day, and walking is one of the best forms of exercise that you can get. Period. It's excellent. So no, and plus you're like 120 years old and you're in great shape. So you must. Okay, maybe I exaggerated that part, but it doesn't surprise me that you walk because you're in great health. You are. I
am in good health. I kid around. I'm 70 years old, and I tell people that I'm so old. I remember when Snap, Crackle, and Pop was a breakfast cereal by Kellogg's, and now it's what I hear in the morning when I get out of bed.
Yep.
Anyway, my friend, we've got to take a short break. We'll be right back with our own Sean Lefebvre and his Good for Wellness Corner. We're going to be all over the map, I think, on this one, but it sounds like it's going to be a really interesting day with Sean. So don't go away. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Sean LaFay with his Geared for Wellness Corner. Sean, you got the microphone, you old man.
I'm good. I tell you what, I've been growing my beard out, and I kind of like it. It's the first time in my life that I've grown a beard more than just about a half an inch or so. But I tell you what, there's a lot of gray.
I got to tell you, I have a couple of concepts. One, I really try to take care of any kind of hair that grows. But at my age, hair grows everywhere except where I want it to grow on the top of my head.
I'm super fortunate. I don't know if it's just good genes or what, but I still have the same hairline that I had, when I was in my 20s, and so. I'm sure eventually it's going to start disappearing up there at some point, but there's a lot of gray too. I cut my own hair, and it's really funny. I hate going to the barber. I used to go. I was one of those guys that used to go and pay $60 or $65 to go get my hair trimmed and colored and styled. And now I'm just like I don't care, and I cut it myself with a pair of clippers, and I look in the sink when I'm done, and I'm thinking, where's the old man whose hair I just cut?
I got to tell you, I go to Supercuts. I pay $20 to get my hair cut. It takes them about 5 minutes, and I keep asking for a discount, and they just keep laughing at me.
Well, I'll come do it for $17, right? but no. So we were talking about the bread and all this stuff, and it's funny. In our society, we tend to link certain foods with certain health conditions, and of course, an easy one is sugar, and anything that turns into sugar, we associate with diabetes, and that's definitely true. People who are type 2 diabetic, and type 2 diabetic is an easy fix. It's sometimes not. Well, I shouldn't say easy. I should say it's simple. Because the approach is simple, but it takes some work, So I shouldn't say it's easy because it does take some work. It takes some discipline, but it's really just making dietary changes. So anyone.
Well, let me ask you this about diabetes, because there's a type 1, type 2. There's all these different things. If you have type 1 diabetes and you're on, I suppose everybody that's on type 1 is on shots or some kind of medication, can you, through diet and weight loss, can you actually reverse that?
Type 1, you cannot. I have talked to some natural healthcare practitioners who said they have been able to get people to where they can go most of the time without insulin. And obviously they're on a very strict diet because you need insulin to process sugar. So I'm assuming they're on a very high-fat diet, which is very good for people with diabetes. But type 1 means that you are absolutely 100% insulin dependent, that your pancreas no longer functions and you can no longer produce insulin on your own. So type 1 is not reversible, and people get it for different reasons. Most of the people that I know who have type 1 diabetes got it as something triggered it when they were younger, and maybe it was a medication that they were taking or some sort of an accident or something. But type 1 diabetes means your pancreas completely stopped functioning, and there's no fixing.
So it's shut down. So, and then type 2, is it still functioning somewhat? Is it reversible with type 2?
Yeah, type 2 is basically your pancreas still works. it's more of a hormone problem at this point than it really is an insulin problem, because your body can still produce insulin. The problem is the term that they use for it is you become insulin resistant. So your cell, every cell in your body has receptors on it, and these receptors bind to different hormones, to different things in your body, and so there's insulin receptors, and the insulin receptors basically become blunted, and so you produce insulin, but the body can't utilize the insulin that's available to it, and as that problem perpetuates itself, your blood sugar levels continue to go up and up and up, and what initially people will do is they'll just give more insulin, because if you flood insulin enough, some of it's gonna catch, some of it's gonna take, and so these people become somewhat dependent on insulin, but really what they need to do is just change their diet, and initially it means getting rid of the sugars and anything that turns into sugar rapidly, like the breads and the grains, pasta, corn chips and things like that, especially corn chips, because they're so inflammatory. And diabetes is another one of those conditions that's is based on inflammation.
Okay, so let me stop you for a second. So when you say corn chips, you mean like Fritos?
Yeah, like Fritos.
Okay, and that's in that you're saying is bad for you. There's not roughage. There's not anything good in that corn that is good for your metabolism.
No, unfortunately, when it comes to Fritos, and I tell you what, man, I hate to bag on Fritos, because
there's a lot of people make those corn chips.
Out there, it's actually one of my favorite ones to sit down and just snack on is Fritos. I love Fritos, but they're just corn. Corn is really high in omega-6s, which makes it pro-inflammatory. I'm sure there's some fiber in there, but it's not enough to make a big difference.
So are we back to moderation there? I mean, if you eat a bag of Fritos once every couple of months, you're okay?
Well, yeah, one of those little bags every once in a while. Yeah, that's like anything else. If you're not diabetic, stuff like that's not going to bother you if you do it once in a while. But a person who's diabetic, they need to stay away from that stuff completely until they heal. They need to get that inflammation process down, and so there's the inflammation is a problem. They need to get rid of the toxicity in their cells that's creating this inflammation. Remember last week we were talking about depression is, they say, an allergic reaction to inflammation in the body, and that's due to an overactive cytokine response.
Now, is this inflammation taking place in the esophagus, the stomach, the intestines?
No, it's taking place in the cells. Like the cell membrane itself is actually inflamed. So every single cell in your body has a cell membrane around it, and literally that membrane becomes inflamed. And what it does is it prevents good stuff from getting in, nutrition getting into the cell. The stuff the cell needs to rebuild itself, and it also because that inflammation creates a congestion that prevents the waste that your cells produce from getting out of the cell, and so that congestion in the cell membrane leads to further inflammation, and so that inflammation is at the cell level. It's not like a specific body part is dealing with inflammation. It's actually at the cell level, and that's typically due to, one, poor diet, and two, some sort of a toxicity buildup in the body. And those are the things that you need to cleanse the body from, so you can repair things like high cholesterol and diabetes and other issues. But I know we're getting ready to go on a commercial break, and so when we come back, I'll talk a little bit about, I do want to touch on cholesterol, but I'm going to talk about how that inflammation process starts and how you can get rid of it.
Well, the nice part about this is that whatever you don't cover today, you can finish tomorrow.
I know, it's exciting.
So we'll be right back with our own Sean LaFave in his Geared for Wellness Corner. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Sean LaFave in his Geared for Wellness Corner. Sean, you got the microphone, my friend.
All right. So inflammation, and if you kind of read in even the mainstream media, but a lot of the medical journals today are really kind of talking about inflammation as the root cause of a lot of these modern day, and I want to say epidemic of diseases that we've got going on right now. Everything from autism to diabetes to high cholesterol to blood pressure. I mean, you name it. Inflammation plays a part in a lot of these diseases, and it's really interesting because I love talking about cholesterol because there's so much misunderstanding with cholesterol, and when you stop and explain to someone how cholesterol works and what it does and what causes it, you can kind of see the light bulb come on, and it's really neat. But, take cholesterol, for instance, and really, the same thing applies when it comes to diabetes and even high blood pressure. But, you get this inflammation process going, and people think, well, I've got high cholesterol. And I'll ask you, Robert, if I said, if you went to the doctor and the doctor says you have high cholesterol, what kind of foods do you think, or what kind of foods do you think most people would believe that they need to stay away from?
Meats, fatty meats, and beef, anything with fat on it.
Right, exactly. And that's what most people think, is I got to stay away from all these fatty meats, from anything that's got high cholesterol in it, eggs, and I've even had people say, you've got to stay away from coconut oil because it's a form of saturated fat. And actually what's true is exactly the opposite. And the reason why is cholesterol is a body's natural anti-inflammatory. And so if your cholesterol level is high, it's because you've got an inflammation process going on, and the body's trying to fight that. And so it's releasing all this cholesterol into the body, trying to reduce that inflammation. Well, the inflammation typically doesn't come from healthy fats. Now, when I say healthy fats, that includes, animal fats, even stuff, like if you eat a steak that's got all that nice marbling in it, and chicken fat. When I eat chicken, I love it with the skin on. It's so funny. Our nation, everyone loves the fat-free chicken breast with no skin on it, and I can't stand that. I love the chicken leg, the drumstick and the thigh, and give me all the skin. But it needs to come from an organic source, and it needs to come from an animal that's been fed the right kind of
and
diet.
I'm guessing fried foods are not good for you either, right?
What's that?
I'm guessing that fried foods are not good for you.
Well, it depends on what kind of oils you fry them in. If they're fried in canola oil or vegetable oil, which tend to be hydrogenated, and they tend to have a lot of trans fats in them, those are bad fats. And so, yeah, that's going to make the food bad for you. But if you can fry it in a oil that's more stable, like say grapeseed oil, or olive oil you can fry stuff in olive oil. You just got to fry at a low temperature, because if it gets too hot, it actually turns into a trans fat. But you can cook with coconut oil. It takes a really high temperature, just like grapeseed oil does. And so there are oils out there. I mean, you can fry stuff. I fry stuff in bacon grease. If the bacon you get comes from a good, healthy source of bacon, or a good, healthy source of a farm where the pigs were raised right, it's actually not unhealthy for you. I'm not going to come out and say that bacon is like the greatest health food ever, because it's not. But it's not damaging to your body like corn oil is, or vegetable oil, or canola oil. And, when you think canola oil, people think, oh gosh, this is a great healthy oil. Well, the fact is it's not a healthy oil. It's actually very damaging, and it does create this inflammation.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that about bacon, because everything tastes better with bacon.
Oh yeah, everything tastes better with bacon, even bacon. But so good fats, even animal fats, are going to help repair your cells and repair that cell membrane. Now, remember I talked about that cell membrane gets inflamed and it gets congested. Well, that comes from two basic things. One, just overeating of sugar. When I say sugar, that can even mean, the wrong kind of bread, the wrong kind of like pasta, and anything that's going to quickly turn into sugar. Like I talked about eating those chips or whatever. But also those bad fats, if you consume those, when they get into that cell membrane, they congest that cell membrane. Now that membrane around your cell, people vilify cholesterol and saturated fat in our culture, and really very wrongly so, because our brain function is highly dependent on saturated fat and cholesterol, as well as our cell membrane. That cell membrane and those little, what they call lipid rafts, that float around on that cell membrane that hold the receptors, the hormone receptors, so you can, your hormones, whether it's leptin to burn fat, it's insulin to burn sugar, it's your sex hormones, testosterone or estrogen, depending on male or female, they all connect to these lipid rafts, and those are all made of saturated fat and cholesterol. And for a man, cholesterol is super important, because your body uses cholesterol to create testosterone. And so the last thing a guy wants to do is take a drug that's going to reduce your cholesterol. Well, it's going to also reduce your testosterone levels in your body, because your body needs cholesterol to produce testosterone. As a matter of fact, the studies have shown, without a doubt, that cholesterol drugs will lower cholesterol, but they do not lower the risk of heart disease. And there has been the studies have also shown there is no correlation.
Well, Sean, then why in the heck should you put yourself through lowering your cholesterol if it's not going to lower your incidence of heart disease?
That's a fantastic question, and I wish I had an answer for it. And the only answer I've got is because for some reason someone came along and said, "Oh, cholesterol, heart disease. We've got to get rid of the cholesterol." And the analogy that I think it was Dr. Dan Pompa used that I loved. I think it was him that I first heard use this analogy. He said, imagine if you're driving down the road and you'd never seen a fireman before, right? And you see this house on fire, and there's all these firemen around the house, and you're kind of wondering, wow, what's going on with this fire? And there's all these guys in these funny-looking suits, and you're like, okay, whatever, and you just keep driving past, and maybe a little while later, you drive past another house that's on fire, and you see these same guys in these same suits, and all of a sudden you start putting two and two together, and you're like, these guys are going around burning down houses, And if you really don't understand what the firemen are there for, you might think that the firemen are part of the problem. So your solution is, we got to get rid of these firemen because they're burning down the neighborhood. and so that's kind of what's happened with cholesterol. Is the cholesterol is elevated at the same time as heart disease, not because the cholesterol causes the heart disease, but because inflammation causes the heart disease, and the cholesterol is there trying to reduce the inflammation. And so you don't want to reduce cholesterol.
So in 10 seconds, what are you going to talk about tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I'm going to continue talking about what we're talking about right now. I'm going to explain how you can reduce your cholesterol naturally and reduce heart risk and or risk of heart disease, and how you can reduce that inflammation naturally and live a great, healthy, vibrant life and not be dependent on these drugs.
Well, that sounds good to me. We'll be coming in tomorrow with Sean and his Good for Wellness Corner. Sean, this was a fantastic segment, all three of them actually. It was really, really interesting. I got a million questions I could ask you. I just don't have I just don't have the whole show to do it in.
You got 24 hours to write them down.
All right, buddy. You have a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Robert. Bye-bye.
Okay, now do not go away. We're going to be right back with my good buddy John Matthews in his Conservative Syndic Corner. And my guess is he's got a lot of stuff that's bugging him today. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay a great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400 4900, or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:09 p.m. Pacific Time. Currently 91 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, that's down from 98 degrees, but you know what? My good buddy John Matthews is waiting in the wings, so let's not waste any time. He's got good stuff for us. Let's bring him in here.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the basement of his strategic planning room located at his political hideaway in Los Angeles County, the dedicated man who stands and serves the political conscience of our nation, Mr. John Matthews.
Hey, John, welcome aboard. Good to have you here with us, my friend.
Well, glad to be here once again.
You know what? It seems like I just hung up talking to you, but my guess is that, by the time you went to bed last night and you got up again this morning, there were probably, 20 to 22 people that just made your life really, really interesting for radio talk today.
Well, there's so much going on right now. It's hard to choose anymore, So, so much of it's such good material one way or the other. I think this morning what caught my eye the most was it seems like we have a Donald Trump smear campaign going on, which I find kind of ironic in some regards, and definitely very humorous in others. All of a sudden, everybody thinks this guy seems to be some kind of viable candidate, probably because he's speaking honestly. I think that's probably the problem. He's not really, and he's not apologizing for anything. And I think the narrative out there right now is the response that I'm hearing. The left wants Donald Trump to run. They think if Donald Trump runs and lucky stars, he wins the nomination, runs against Hillary, it's going to be a slam dunk for Hillary. But the Republican establishment, of course, is upset because Donald's not playing the game the way that they want it played. He's saying what he feels, and he's not backing down, and he's losing some sponsorships, and he's losing some money. He's lost quite a bit of money in the past few days in terms of endorsements in the Miss USA concert and everything. And it's like, I don't care.
Well, you know what? I wonder if he hasn't just decided, yeah, I'm going to lose some money and I'm going to lose some stuff here, but the publicity I am getting is worth just an unimaginable amount of money later on. I don't know if he can or he can't be a viable candidate. He still ranks number 2. It just shocks the heck out of me. But, there is something about Donald Trump that I find refreshing, John, and that is that he's not apologizing. He's saying what he thinks, whether you like it or not, because the big guys haven't bought his position. Whether you like his position or not, he's telling it the way he believes it.
And the truth is, he laid this out in the beginning that, I'm rich. I don't care. I'm paying for my own campaign. I'm not out there looking for donors and everything else. And I think to some degree, we're talking about a guy that has declared bankruptcy 4 or 5 times and come back and still one of the richest men in America. It's not like this kind of stuff scares him at that level. And I think he's just like, I think he's bored with everything else. I think that he's just like, I'm just going to do this because I just feel like doing it. And of course, I can afford to do it. And should he lose, he should get bumped out early or not make the cut or whatever, around the debate rounds and everything else. And he wanders off in the sunset.
Well, I don't think it hurts his ego at all, John, to know that he's running number 2 in the polls right now. I think when you look at a guy like Donald Trump, that's got everything at his fingertips, can have anything he wants, to just throw his hat in the ring and be immediately ranking number 2 in the polls on the Republican Party has got to just be brushing his ego to no end.
Well, I think the thing about Donald Trump, he is Barack Obama with money. He's just as narcissistic. He's just as egotistic. He thinks everything he does is great, and maybe that's what we need right now. Maybe I don't know. I think that he's going to he's going to keep the debate process from getting boring, because everything else is just going to be hammered out, talking points. And how can we concede without looking like we're conceding, that kind of thing. They're not even fooling anybody anymore. The idea that the Republicans can think that, we're going to put on a strong conservative front. No, you've worn that thing out just like Obama's worn out hope and change, So it's not a big deal here. We're on to you. It's not like you're fooling anybody. And the idea that Trump is sitting in the balls where he is right now, of course, in a field of 17, 18, 19 people, whatever it is right now, 10% is a big number. If that field is down to 2 or 3, who knows where he would be. But I think he brings something interesting to the table. Like I said, I really hope he makes the cut for the debate. I hope Carly Fiorina makes the cut.
I would love to see Carly Fiorina and Donald Trump go at each other. I mean, she, is I wouldn't vote for Carly because I have my own reasons for that, but I do think she's a strong woman. She's an intelligent woman, and I think that she isn't going to take any crap from Trump.
Well, I'm more prone to say I'd like to see them going after Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio and Lindsey Graham. Those are the people I want to see in the hot seat.
Well, let's talk some more. Let's talk some more about that after these brief messages. I got to take a commercial break. We'll be right back with John Matthews and his Conservative Syndicate right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to my good friend John Matthews. And you know, John has his own show on Monday through Wednesday. I was going to give you a station, but he's on so many stations I can't really do that. I can tell you that the Conservative Syndicate that John has from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on, it's 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time, right, John?
Right, 5 to 7.
Yeah, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time, and he's all over the world on his station. He's talking about politics in a way that's going to make you think. John is not. He is not so set in his ways that he won't listen to a legitimate argument. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to convince him otherwise. I've learned that that's not such an easy thing to do, but he's a reasonable man, and he can see the truth in your arguments or maybe the fallacies in it as well. You owe it to yourself to listen to the Conservative Syndicate with John Matthews. Monday through Wednesday, he's going to make you think, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. John, you've got the microphone. We were talking about this. I mean, it's becoming such a large running race for president. They're going to need to put this thing in a football stadium pretty soon. They don't have enough room to do debates.
Well, people seem to think that's a negative thing. That that everybody wants everything done so quickly. We live in this what I call a sitcom mentality these days, where we want the plot, we want the crisis, we want the solution 30 minutes or less. The country has been going in the wrong direction for a number of years, not just the Obama administration. I think we really started taking those guys back with Carter. Reagan and was able to alleviate some of that problem, but it's come back and bit us. And a lot of it has to do with just as much of the Republicans as the Democrats. So it's not like we're looking at the silver lining out there is more like platinum now. It's becoming less valuable, and so the idea that all of a sudden, you're going to have all these candidates and they're not going to be able to figure out who, and all this infighting and everything else. Well, that really is the way politics should operate. There should be a lot of discussion. There should be, different views. You're going to find a lot of these people talking the same thing in a different way. But, in the end, we will come up with one candidate. So the argument is really moot that, we have too many people. Maybe have too many of the wrong people, but, that's what the system is designed to do, is filter, the sheep out from the goats. And, so I've entered into this place of almost this, I'm in kind of like a Zen state right now, with all the rulings that came down with the Supreme Court in the last couple of weeks, and I was, one after the other, and a lot of people were just kind of, your head spinning, and you're going, oh my goodness, what's going on? How did this happen? Where are we going from here? Oh, they'll go into hell in a handbasket. You know what? I don't know. I'm in a very peaceful state right now because none of this caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I woke up in the morning and go, oh my God, it's all over. It's just, this is what is going to have to happen. We're probably going to have to go into a worse state of existence before people really start to catch on and realize that, hey, you just can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. I mean, it's just really coming down to that. And I'm very happy to see a lot of people on the right, a lot in the Christian community, actually now sticking their heads up and going, oh, my God, what's going on here? Now you tell them, and they don't run to their four walls like they normally do and hide out. They're like, well, what do we do now?
John, one of the things that we're hearing a great deal from, and we're hearing it from a lot of the, let's call them the headliners that are running for president, is that they're really beginning to question the visions. Not the visions, I should say the interpretations of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is supposed to be analyzing the law and not making up their own minds for the basic good of the citizens. It's supposed to be a constitutional issue. They're supposed to analyze it and say constitutionally this is the way it is. Not, well, we got too many people that this is going to affect, so we can't go against them.
Well, this is what happens when you don't pay attention. and you allow things to fester and grow in the manner that they have been. I mean, every president since Washington has had the desire of having the Supreme Court stacked in their favor. I mean, there's no secret there. Every president wants the Supreme Court on their side. Roosevelt was probably the closest thing that I can think of really being able to stack the court the way that he wanted to rubber stamp everything that he did. And I think Obama understood that, and the left understood it. But here's the thing is, if people come to their senses, and we end up with a solid conservative Republican in the White House in 2016, he's going, or she is going to be able to appoint at least 3 to 4 Supreme Court justices. Because we have these people coming up there, just, Ginsburg can't stay awake anymore. She has a half a glass of wine, and she's like a wino. Some of the other ones, they're getting old. They're not going to be around. And we have a chance to stack the court back in the conservative slant. And who knows what happens there. Maybe that would inspire Congress to start doing something again and start legislating. I think if I got anything out of these rulings as far as John Roberts, who I think is the Supreme Court's John Boehner, to me, he's the class idiot. He's the class clown. But the point being is that he did make points in all of his arguments that basically said, their interpretations were wrong. They weren't supposed to be legislating. They did on some issues, and others they said, no, we don't want to do that. But the point is, he basically laid it back in Congress and said, if you want to stop this stuff, it's up to you. So, on one hand, he's probably protecting himself. He wants to be the cool guy in the room and have everybody like him and everything. But he did, lay it back in Congress's hands and say, you guys want to change this, you can change it. We can't change it. I'm telling you what I think they intended to do, but if you want to change it, that's your job.
Yeah, and he's right, John. It is the legislator's job. But you know what? Legislation in Washington, D.C. is a 4-letter word. They don't know what the hell they're doing over there.
Well, they do know what they're doing. Here's the thing. They do know what they're doing. They do know that they don't want to do anything.
Yeah, you got that right. You got that right. I mean, when I was in school taking civics,
know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
When I was in school taking civics, I don't think I really understood what obstructionism was. I had to wait until I was 70 years old and actually saw it taking place in Washington, D.C. before I understood what that word meant.
Obstructionism?
Yeah. Anyway, hey, listen, we'll talk more about it right after these brief messages, John. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to my good buddy John Matthews in the Conservative Syndicate Corner. So, John, you were talking about the Supreme Court and the fact that, they are analyzing things. But, when we were talking about, you heard me talking about obstructionists earlier. And, I honestly believe, I'm not even kidding around, I honestly believe that we have 535 obstructionists in Washington, D.C., in the Congress. For some reason, it just seems so illogical to me. I don't care if they're Republicans, independents, conservatives, Tea Party people. You would think that there would be some common ground, that they would want to accomplish something for the people they represent, and that just does not seem to be the case.
Well, I think it just has to do with the culture that we live in. When we look at what's going on right now in the country, and you talk about the political divide and the theological divide and the moral divide. All these different things we're broken up into groups now. We're into solid demographics that politicians can look at and say, well, I need this part of this vote, and I need part of this vote, and I need part of this to keep my operation together. That's really what it's coming down to. The idea of finding some kind of common ground, that is the common ground. The common ground is I need to save myself. I need to protect myself. And so that's why you have the ability, or that's why you see and you witness things like a John Boehner or a Mitch McConnell out there telling you that they're going to vote conservatively and then turn right around and give Obama whatever he wants. It's just the idea that it is self-preservation. And so everybody's playing that game. And so that is the common ground. Now, what makes it confusing is the fact that everybody has a different way of going about it. But the objective is all the same. They all have the same objective now, and that is, I get what I want. I protect myself at the expense of the people that have elected me. And the people that have elected me keep electing me. So obviously that's an indication that, one, they either don't care, or two, they're too ignorant to realize what's going on. I take it as a personal insult that I see these people getting reelected, because that's what it is. It's like you are insulting my intelligence.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got at least 50% of the population out there that just willfully choose to be ignorant, for whatever their motivations, whether it be it's too complicated, whether it be it doesn't matter to me, I've got no voice, I don't, whatever the reason people are throwing their hands up, they're still participating by not doing anything. They're helping this advance along. So the only people that keep voting are the people that want it.
Yeah.
So it is the nature of the beast. The idea of obstruction I don't know that there is anybody really obstructing anything because there's nobody really doing anything to obstruct. It's kind of like they're all watching the parade go by and waiting for their float to show up. It's kind of like that. So I don't know, where you see obstruction is when people like myself and people like you, people that stand up and start to say something. There's the obstruction. Now we're going to be branded because my great grandfather flew a Confederate flag. And my people came from Tennessee on my dad's side, so that means I'm a racist because of that flag. That kind of stuff. There's where your obstruction comes. The obstruction comes with trying to silence those that are standing up, going, "Wait a minute, we can't keep doing this." But the majority of the people right now, I don't know. I wouldn't call it obstruction. I would just call it a blind cohesiveness. They're just going along. Just going along. Sheep. They're sheep. I mean, we use that phrase a lot in conservative circles. They're sheep. They just go wherever people follow them.
And they keep shearing us, and they keep getting paid.
Yeah, and we, a lot of us sit around here and we talk and we gripe about it. Unfortunately, enough of us that are griping don't make it to the polls to change anything. So that's why we become labeled. We become the obstructionists. We're obstructing something. We're obstructing this idea that the government is taking more and more of our liberty away and promising us more and more freedom in return for it. What an oxymoron. How does that happen? That they take away more and more your liberties and everything, but you're getting more freedom out of it. I mean, anybody with the IQC should be able to register in their mind and go, well, that doesn't make any sense. But it doesn't, because most people can't. I'm telling you, Bob, most people can't even tell you what liberty means anymore. They can't even define what freedom is.
Yeah.
Because it's been so bastardized and so, taken out of context and so deconstructed and so redefined. Nobody really even knows what it is.
But you know what, John? The real problem here is if the citizens of the United States don't stand up and do something, then freedom is going to be a word of the past that they're not going to understand.
Freedom will become whatever it becomes within a tyrannical totalitarian government. It's like you go over to some of these tyrannical countries. You go over to someplace like the Middle East somewhere, and you ask them what freedom is. And freedom is I can buy a goat instead of a sheep. But you say, well, what can you do with that goat? Well, we have rules and regulations what you can do. But I can choose which one of those two things I want. But the government's going to tell me what I can do with them once I get them. And that's the concept of freedom there. And the concept of freedom that's becoming in this country is I can do whatever I feel like doing as long as I feel good about it. It's not even anymore as long as other people don't get hurt. That used to be the argument. Now, no, I feel good about it. So therefore, it's freedom. That's my freedom. I get to do what I want to do. And if you don't like it, then you hate me. You're a hater. You're a racist. You're a bigot. You're a homophobe. You're all these things because you're standing in the way of me being able to do whatever it is I want to do. So that freedom is the ability to recognize parameters and borders and restraint and willfully choosing to stay within those things within the concept of natural law.
Well, you know what? Talking about freedom, you've got the freedom in the next 20 seconds to talk about your show. Will you do that?
Okay. Well, you are free to come to my website anytime you want to. We don't have any barriers. We don't charge taxes, no fees, no tariffs, nothing. You can come to our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, and pick up anything you want to know about our show, who we are, the panel, where Bob is one of our panel members, and you can listen to all our archives, read our blogs. We do writing, and we do it all. So just go to theconservativesyndicate.net. You'll find out anything you want to know about us.
Great show, John. Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being on the show every week, and it's enlightening. I just, I love, most of the time, you and I actually agree.
Well, yeah, I think we do. We don't always agree on methodology, but we usually agree very much in the objectives and where we need to be. So, yeah that's kind of cool.
All right, my friend, have a wonderful weekend. Have a safe 4th of July, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, we'll be able to do that. They outlawed fireworks here, so we'll be safe and safe.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, take care, man.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what today is? Yep, you got it. It's somebody's birthday. And you know what? This is an actor born in 1947. He's also a writer, a comedian, a producer, and a film director, best known for his work on Seinfeld. Happy birthday, Larry David. And here's a guy born in 1956, a model and a gal, a model and actress, also known for her long-term relationship with Mick Jagger, with whom she had 4 children. Happy birthday, Jerry Hall. And then finally, born in 1986, an actress whose personal life has been a frequent subject of celebrity and tabloid news. Happy birthday to Lindsay Lohan today. And today in history, I'll tell you what, July 2nd, 1698, Thomas Savery patents the very first steam engine. Isn't that interesting? And in 1937, Amelia Earhart and navigator Fred Noonan are last heard from over the Pacific Ocean while attempting to make the first equatorial round-the-world flight. And then finally, in 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson signs the Civil Rights Act of 1964, meant to prohibit segregation in public places. Well, our quote for today comes from Steve Martin. Yeah, Steve Martin, the comedian. And he says, "I like a woman with a head on her shoulders." I hate necks. This guy, he has got a weird sense of humor. That's all I can say. Well, you know what? It's time for us to talk about those secret daily teachings for your life. You've heard me talk about it many times. It has to deal with what's the word I want to use? It deals with a positive mental attitude. That's what I'm trying to say. And so when you're dealing with that positive mental attitude, you always are going to get what you want. You affect what you want and what everybody else around you is going to be getting as well. So let me tell you about the teaching for today. And, it's a little involved. It says, what have you done in your life which has truly helped the lives of others around the world? For most people, the answer is very little or nothing. Despite carrying agonizing feelings about the plight of others, the reason I am presenting you with this question is to help you see that the agonizing feelings have not helped those people, and they never will. And most certainly, by the law of attraction, they are not helping you. In fact, any negative feelings that you experience about others is adding powerful energy to their plight, so it is creating the very opposite of what you want. Take your attention off their plight and shift your thoughts and feelings to what you want for them. That is the secret for today. Now, it's time for our Harvard Business Tip of the Day, and the management tip today is let go of a bad mood. Many leaders struggle to shift from a negative state of mind to a positive one. If you're in a bad mood and it's hurting your performance at work, how do you get out of it? First, breathe. Breathing can help you achieve a physiological condition called coherence, which leads to improved mental clarity, focus, emotional stability, and decision-making. Second, activate a positive feeling by quietly focusing on a person, a place, or thing that you are grateful for. And third, ask yourself a few questions to reframe your thoughts. What else is possible here? What really matters right now? What could I learn in this moment? What does my gut say? What is a more useful, constructive, positive approach? What is the most desirable outcome? This will help you engage with a new attitude and course of action. It is the best way for you to go. It's all about, even in business, even the business tips, it's common sense and a positive mental attitude. That is where you're going to succeed. That is how you're going to succeed. Just keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about those interesting but useless facts. And we've got a number of those. We're going to try and get through them today. We've got some good ones. Here's the first one. The smallest bone in the human body is the stapes, or stirrup bone, located in the middle ear. It is approximately 0.11 inches long. That's 1/10, or 11/100ths of an inch long. Give that some thought. And without it, you can't hear. Did you know that the Queen Elizabeth ship burns a gallon of oil to move 1 foot? Give that one some thought. And here's one for you. You know, Lucy and Linus, who were brother and sister, had another little brother named Rerun. Now, he sometimes played left field on Charlie Brown's baseball team when he could find it. Think about that one. You know what? Let's talk about a smart guy. Let's talk about Albert Einstein and Charles Darwin. Both married their first cousins, Elsa Lowenthal and Emma Wedgwood, respectively, I should say. Well, I guess respectfully, too. Did you know a quarter has 119 grooves around the edge? I want you to get out a quarter and count them. And just let me know. I'm not going to do it. I want you to verify that. And here's one for you. Native Americans do not have to pay tax on their land because it's not part of the United States. It is part of the United States, North America, but it is sovereign land to the American Indians. Did you know that in 1980, a Las Vegas hospital suspended workers for betting on when patients would die? Yeah, give that some thought and hope the heck you're not in that hospital, guys. Absolutely. Here's one for you. The Milky Way's nearest neighbor is 4.3 million light years away. Now, 100 million times further than the moon. It is a 3-star cluster known as Alpha Centauri. And finally, well, I can't say finally, but all U.S. presidents have worn glasses. Some just didn't like being seen wearing them in public, so you don't actually see that. And now, finally, a healthy, non-colorblind human eye can distinguish between 500 shades of gray. Give that some thought while we're on this commercial break. And when we come back, I'm going to answer your emails. And the first email I have is from Alexis Cagney from Buffalo Grove, Illinois. And she's asking about shared home office space. I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? It's time for our emails today. And I want to tell you just one more time that we do this for entertainment purposes. A lot of the emails come through with a little sketchy information, but we try our best to give you a good comprehensive answer. But always, always, always consult with a licensed professional before you do anything or make any decisions. They're going to be worth every nickel you spend. They'll save you more money than they cost you. And one of the conditions of their license is that they carry errors and omissions insurance, which means if they give you the wrong advice or they make a mistake, you don't have to worry about somebody tapping you on the shoulder or sending you a registered letter or knocking on your door. They're going to be responsible for it. They're going to have to pay the piper. Now, you might have to pay it up front and then get it back from them, but they've got insurance just for that, and that should let you sleep at night, I would think. Well, let's get right to it. Our very first email comes from Alexis Cagney today from Buffalo Grove, Illinois, and asking about shared home office space. And Alexis says, can my wife and I both claim home offices on our tax return? If so, can we claim the same shared space as an office? Well, you know what, Alexis, this is a good question. If you each meet the requirements to deduct a home office, you each can do so, and you can share the office space, such as a room in your home that is used exclusively for business. Of course, you can't each deduct the full cost of the space, or you'd be getting a double deduction. So you should separately deduct a portion of the space in proportion to actually how you use it. Generally, a home office must be the principal place you conduct a business or be needed for administrative management activities because you have no office where you can conduct the business, such as a doctor at a hospital, right? Now, here's the thing. The really easiest way, you can get most of these details on IRS publication 587, it's business use of your home. But the easiest way, if it's for you and your wife, you know what your gross revenue is, each of you, the total amount of money you brought in before any expenses. So you take that and you add it together. Then you find out from that total what percentage of that total was your wife's. That's the percentage of the home office deduction she should take, and then you take the difference between that and the 100%. So hopefully that'll make it easier for you, and that's totally acceptable by the IRS. My next email comes from Maya Griffin from Wall, New Jersey. She's asking about solo 401ks and says, business proprietors don't take salaries, but they can have 401k plans. How does this work? You know what, Maya? For employees, 401k contributions are a portion of salary because that is all the business income that they actually receive. Now, for a business proprietor who takes no salary but reports all his business's income on Schedule C of his personal tax return, the solo 401k contribution limit equals the first $15,500 of self-employment income plus another $5,000 added to this amount for persons who are 50 years old and older, plus 20% of all self-employment income. Now, this total may not exceed $45,000 or $50,000 for those older than 50 years old. Now, let me give you an example of this. Let's just say you are older than 50 and have $80,000 of proprietorship income. Your maximum contribution is going to be $36,500. Where'd I get it? You get that first $15,500, plus you get the $5,000 for being over 50, plus you get 20% of that $80,000. That's another $16,000 that you get to take. So it's a pretty good deal if you think about it. It's a great way to save money for your retirement, too. My next email comes from Giovanni Grasso from Kells, Michigan, asking about franchise fee deductions. And he writes, franchise fees must be deducted over 15 years, but suppose one paid a franchise fee to open a business that went broke in 1 year. Can you get a faster deduction? Well, Giovanni, when a business asset loses all its value, its tax basis becomes deductible. So, if you purchase a business franchise and its value soon after drops to zero, you can claim a loss deduction for the previously undeducted amount of your franchise fee in the year that the loss actually occurred. Now, special rules such as those for franchise fees apply to deducting the cost of intangible assets, so consult a tax professional before you go any farther with this. You want to make sure you get it right and don't get the IRS jumping all over you. Finally, my last email comes from Jay Cartoonian from Ben Hur, California, asking about a mortgage default and writes, one person made a loan for another as a second mortgage secured by a borrower's home. The borrower defaulted, but also defaulted on his first mortgage. The home went to the bank, and the maker of the second loan got nothing. Can he deduct this loss? Well, Jake, an individual taxpayer who makes a loan like this and that goes unpaid becomes entitled to a claim of a bad debt deduction. However, unless the individual is in the business of making loans, the deduction's a capital loss rather than a business loss, and the deduction for the capital loss is limited. Now, capital losses are deductible against capital gains, with a net capital loss up to $3,000 being deductible against ordinary income each year. Now, any excess net capital loss over that amount can be carried forward to to be used in future years. So hopefully that helps you out. Now, I want to thank you for listening to Robert Cardoza Live at the intersection of business and politics. Robert Cardoza Live broadcasts on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. I also broadcast on Roar 1776 Radio and on Live 365 Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com and email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. On my next show, my expert contributor is David Garrett on the law. Actually, it's going to be Sean Lefebvre. David's going to be gone for the holiday weekend. Sean Lefebvre will be here with his Geared for Wellness quarter, and my special guest will be Dr. Stephen Tidwell, talking tomorrow's dentistry today. I encourage you to tell all of your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then, when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I enjoyed producing it for you. Don't forget to join me again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Time for another installment of Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. In the meantime, stay home, be happy, be safe, and good night, everybody.